So I have two scripts here. One is what I really think about the Google Pixel Slate, and the other one is kind of a sugar-coated review where I politely talk about all of the things that I didn't care for. I am going to regret this. Full disclosure, Google has sent me free hardware in the past because I'm on YouTube. They sent me the Google Pixel 3 XL phone, which I really like. I wanted to say that up front just so you all know that I'm kind of in the pocket of Google. So with that said, let's get on with the review. Google's new Pixel Slate is a dumpster and the Pixelbook pen is a match. The too long didn't read, the pen is horrible, the device is laggy, and the palm rejection is hit or miss. Okay, that came across as a little harsh. I know there are people out there who love Chrome OS. In fact, I think I met them both on an elevator in Milwaukee. They were lovely people. If you're new here, I review things from the point of view of an illustrator, so I'm not just giving you information that you could just read on the back of the box. So if I don't mention how good the speakers sound or how it has 2 USB-C ports, I'm sorry. It's not really what I do. What I want to know is what is it like to draw on? And if you're looking for something to draw on, this is not it. And to be fair to Google, they aren't really marketing this directly to creatives, but it looks like the Surface Pro and an iPad Pro, and it's priced like a Surface Pro and an iPad Pro, so it seems fair that you would look at them from that perspective. Now, since a lot of folks flip their lid when I compare anything to an iPad, I'm not going to do that for the rest of this review today. Instead, I'm going to be comparing this to the Galaxy Tab S4, an Android tablet I reviewed earlier this year that I feel is a far better piece of tech. Since I do like to cosplay as a professional tech reviewer, I should probably now explain why I didn't really care for this device. The Pixel Slate is a Chromebook. Well, not a Chromebook, because those are shaped like books or laptops, whatever. This is a tablet that runs Chrome OS. Chrome OS was created to be a lightweight operating system that was fast because it was really only made to run a browser. The operating system isn't nearly as heavy as Windows, so in theory, you can have a good, snappy, usable computer for around $200. So this is the good and bad of the Chrome OS. The good, it's super cheap. The bad is it's also kind of limited. Folks who just need a computer for email, web browsing, looking at Google Docs, it is perfect. Schools love these things. They're cheap. If a kid spills a Fanta on them, they just hand them another one. Another Chromebook, not another Fanta. Kid logs back into their Google account and they're back where they started in no time, no fuss. Recently, Google has added the ability to run Android apps on Chrome OS. On paper, this is a great idea. In practice, it feels pretty clunky. Apps blink in and out when you switch in between them. Animation stutters. Scrolling often feels laggy. It takes a second to respond with touch gestures sometimes. You can go dual screen in Chrome OS, but most of the Android apps don't actually support that yet. When using just the browser in Chrome OS, it feels really solid. It's the Android apps that feel duct taped together. The user experience just feels hacky. My first impression of the device was good. Things were smooth. I love having a real browser on a tablet, but once I started installing anything that wasn't on the tablet already, I could really see the seams. Using a standard Android tablet feels much smoother and much more cohesive. Even though the hardware of the Pixelbook looks and feels good, the software lacks polish and it breaks that immersion. The Android app integration into Chrome OS is fairly new, and unfortunately it has a long way to go. It works, but it just works so much better on an actual Android tablet. Once you get into an Android app, the experience is hit or miss. Some drawing apps were absolutely unusable. I'm sorry, Medibang fans. Some were actually really good. You go, Autodesk Sketchbook. I should talk about this guy. This is the Pixelbook pen. It doesn't come with the Slate. It's $100 extra. This, unfortunately, I think is becoming the industry standard for styluses, although I will point out the Galaxy Tab S4 pen comes packed in, no extra cost. If you're taking notes with the Pixelbook pen, using this for handwriting, it's fine. For drawing, it's not. You have to draw really fast to get a smooth line. If you slow down just a little, it gets jittery. I'm not talking about super slow strokes, I'm talking about medium speed strokes. They get really bad. I mean, with really slow lines, it can be annoying, but I'm finding just drawing at a normal speed, what I'm comfortable drawing at, I'm getting a ton of jitter. It makes detailed line work of any kind impossible, and I'm finding this across all of the drawing apps. Now, this also happens on the Microsoft Surface Pen, but the key difference here is that many of the programs on Windows have stroke straightening software. Photoshop, Clip Studio, those things can clean a lot of this stuff up. That's not really an option here on Android because the software seems to be lighter weight, it doesn't have those kind of features. There's nothing here that can bail you out and help you. Sketchbook has a stroke assist. It does work differently than it does on the desktop. It's more predictive. I guess that's how I describe it. Basically, if you draw something that even looks remotely like a circle, it's going to snap into a circle shape, which is handy if you want to draw a circle, but if you want to draw an oval or something that looks more organic, it's not too good. I have read that iBez Paint X does have a stroke straightening feature, however, but unfortunately, the Pixelbook pen is not supported as a stylus with iBez Paint. So even though you might be able to use it with that feature, you're not going to get any pressure sensitivity. You're not going to get the full features of the pen. The pressure curve of the pen itself feels off. For example, I want to be able to hold a consistent level of pressure while I'm drawing. So if I'm drawing a circle at medium pressure, I want that line to look even all the way around the circle. I can do that at medium pressure. I can do that when I'm pressing hard, but where the pressure curve starts to really get kind of shaky is at the low end. If I am applying very little pressure, I get a wide variety of reactions from the pen. Sometimes it doesn't register a line at all. Sometimes it registers a very faint line. Sometimes it registers a slightly thicker line. And I feel like if I apply even the slightest amount of pressure, it's going to get thick really fast. It's just that low end of the pressure curve doesn't feel like I have any control. To add to the problems here, the palm rejection is really spotty. So the worst case scenario is it's going to think that you're trying to pinch and zoom when your palm is resting on the tablet. The best case scenario is that when you lift your palm up, you're going to have a bunch of extra dots and dashes that you're going to have to erase. This brings us to the art software that's available. Like I mentioned before, there are all of the Android drawing apps available, but some work well and some don't. It's kind of spotty. And also, there's nothing on Android from the software perspective that I really love. Sketchbook is good, Affinity Painter is good, Artflow is good. A lot of folks love iBez Paint X, but as I mentioned before, can't really use it with the stylus. But even the apps that I do like don't work here as well as they do on the Galaxy Tab S4. When it comes to Chrome OS, the Android app integration just isn't there yet. It works, but it's not fun to use. Now some of you at this point are thinking, hey, it's brand new, give the app makers time to fix this stuff with the pen. But the Pixelbook pen has been out for a year, and many of the problems it has can't be fixed with software. I guess I expected more. I assumed that Google got into the hardware game for many of the same reasons that Microsoft got into the hardware game. Microsoft could make the best touch interface they wanted, but if their vendors were competing only on price and cutting corners and never built a tablet really took advantage of that, you would never see the full potential of what Windows could really do. The Surface Pro came out and they wanted to create the best hardware that shows off what Windows can be. When software and hardware work together, you get a great user experience and a great product, and it feels to me like Google got this backwards. I've read that the Pixel Slate signals that Google is moving on from Android tablets, that it's looking to focus more on Chrome OS for tablets, but to me it just doesn't feel like it's there yet. It seems like they're going in the wrong direction. Clearly I'm not a software designer, so I could be totally wrong in here, but I think it would be easier to put a fully functional Chrome browser on Android than the other way around. And it seems like the future is in ARM chips, not the x86 architecture. Buying one of these has all the confusion of buying a laptop. How much RAM do I need? What's the difference between a Celeron processor and an i5 processor? Tech heads know this stuff, the rest of the world does not. Most people have no idea what processor is in their phone or their tablet, and that's not a bad thing. My inexpensive 2-year-old Galaxy Tab that doesn't have very good specs at all runs these apps better. When I look at the Google Pixel Slate, it feels to me like Google looked at their product lineup and said, oh, we have a phone, we have a laptop, what we really need is a tablet, because that'll complete the lineup. It feels like a marketing decision, not a decision that was made by someone trying to make a really great product. At the end of the day, I really wanted to like this thing. It does a lot of things well. It looks beautiful, the screen's beautiful, the speakers are great. It's got those 2 USB-C ports that work better than the ones on the iPad. But the core thing that I want to do with it, which is draw on it, it's just not there yet. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions, let me know down below in the comment section. That is all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days.